wild man takes him away from his kingdom, all his precious jewels and his gold and his finery, everything that he knows. But then he gives him an instruction. He says to the little prince, hide your golden hair beneath a cap and go and work in the castle kitchens. Spend time in the ashes. And I love that metaphor because the kitchens in his castle are deep, 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 deep below everything else. It's like the lowest of the low, right? Because the wild man says to the prince, having gold isn't enough.
Pretty sad.
You don't just wake up one day and feel free. First, you descend into the ashes, into the still water, into the ache you've been trying to outrun your whole life. Hello everybody, my name is Davy. I am not an alcoholic. I refuse to be anonymous. I am someone who lives a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck, and I spend every single moment of that life helping other people do the same. Like right now, baby. How is everybody doing out there? As you know, little drink. Of that beautiful Earl Grey English tea. Very British I am, very British. In this episode, I'm going to give you another insight into the Strive method. It is a workshop in the stuck phase, which we're currently rolling out at the moment. So if you want to join that, you want to learn to live a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck, send a note out to me. Email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com. So this workshop, it's a concept called Katabasis, or the descent. And trust me, it might be the most important thing that you'll ever understand about growth. It's that powerful, right? Back when I was deep in the liquid lie, I used to think there was something wrong with me, like I was broken or lost. But it turns out I was just descending. Robert Bly, in his great book, I and John, introduced me to the idea of Katabasis, and it hit me like one of those freight trains that I used to manage when I worked for DB Schenker. It's a Greek word. It means descent into the underworld, into our pain, into our shadows, the parts of us that we've buried or denied. But here's the twist, right? It is not a punishment, this descent. It is not a punishment. It is initiation. In Iron John, brilliant book, by the way, go out and buy it. There is this young prince, and he loses his golden ball, his divine spark, and it rolls into the cage of a wild man locked in the woods. To retrieve it, he has to free this wild part of himself and follow it into the unknown. So the wild man takes him away from his kingdom, all his precious jewels and his gold and his finery, everything that he knows. But then he gives him an instruction. He says to the little prince, hide your golden hair beneath a cap and go and work in the castle kitchens. Spend time in the ashes. And I love that metaphor because the kitchens in his castle are deep, 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 deep below everything else. It's like the lowest of the low, right? Because the wild man says to the prince, having gold isn't enough. You have to earn it, right? You have to live in the mud before you can shine in the light. Does that sound familiar? If it does, you might be thinking about rock bottom. AA talks about rock bottom, right? Like you need to be destroyed before you're worthy of change. But here's my truth, and the truth for all the strivers out there. You don't need melodrama to meet yourself. Without doubt, I've had painful descents, painful Katabasis moments, the shame of gambling addiction and not being able to tell my wife that I blew all our money, right? The shame of going through a divorce and the fear of never meeting anyone again, and the rage and the violence of my youth and the racism and the xenophobia and getting into fights all the time. Really difficult, challenging descents, Katabasis moments. But I've also had Katabasis moments that weren't wrapped in tragedy, like walking away from my 19-year railway career, the biggest decision I've ever made in my life. I was uncertain, it was a really heavy moment, but it didn't break me, it transformed me. You see, Katabasis isn't just for addicts or trauma survivors. It's the call that comes to all of us, and it comes to us again and again and again. So before we take a little break, a question to sit with. What if your descent isn't your downfall, but your becoming? Take a breath, have a little reflection on that, and I'll see you on the other side of the break. Welcome back to this episode on Katabasis. And remember, this descent, I want you to think of it as being sacred. In the stuck phase of the Strive method, we don't run from the dark. We walk into it, confident, bold, not to suffer, but to remember. Because deep in the basement of your story, beneath the shame and the confusion, lives your wild man. And he's not dangerous. He's just forgotten. He's the primal part of you that never got the love, the guidance, or the space to just be. And he's waiting for you. The wild man within you, he knows how to grieve, knows how to feel, knows how to rage, and knows how to love. But first, you've got to sit in the kitchen. You've got to hide your golden hair under a cap. You've got to get dirty. You've got to let your ego die a little bit. This isn't about being broken. It's about becoming whole. You don't need to lose everything to hear the call. You just need to listen right now to the whisper that says, this isn't working. There's more for you. Because that is your invitation. That is your Katabasis. So don't wait for it to get worse. Don't wait until you're bleeding in the street. Follow the call. Feed your intuition. And for fuck's sake, stop poisoning yourself today. Okay, today's daily vow. Today, I will not drink. Today, I will honor the descent. I will trust that my dark nights are not dead ends, but doorways. I will meet my Katabasis moments with curiosity, not fear. You don't rise despite your descent. You rise because of it. Okay? Get that into your head. Beautiful moments await you in the future. Some reflections before I go. What have been your Katabasis moments? There's not just one. There'll be many in your life. What are they? Get a journal out, write it down, or respond to me in all the different formats that you can, right? Where did these Katabasis moments take you? What did they awaken in you? All right? Have a little moment to think about that, but journal it, get those answers out into the ether. All right. That's all I have time for today in this episode. If something stirred for you, do me a favor, rate and review the podcast and send it on to somebody else. Help other people find this message. If you can subscribe, that will help me a lot. I want to see those subscription numbers go up and up and up and up and up so more people can hear some of the things we're doing here on the daily podcast, help them to stop drinking alcohol. If you're ready to take the first step towards a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck, you want to take our workshop on Katabasis and all the other workshops that we have, then go to www.thestrivemethod.com and join the waiting list to either grab our free ebook or join the Strive Method. Until tomorrow, don't forget, this is your moment today to not drink. You can do it. You've got your back, and I've got it as well. Much love and strive on.